It says, what are the dimensions of the drawing? So this is actually, and I hate that I don't have all this information. I think yours says something to this effect. Shown to the right is a floor plan. I think it's a little different, but I think it's the same. Is a floor plan for the Miller's new home. The length of the floor plan is 2.87 inches, and the width is 3.3125 inches. Is that what you guys have? Something to that effect? No? It doesn't say that at all? Well, see, I have an older book. I don't have a current book right now. Shown to the right is the Miller's new home. The actual width is 600. Yeah, we definitely left out some key information here. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, so we need to write some of this down. So this is the floor plan. This actual length 600. What is the scale? Floor plan. What are the dimensions of the drawing? Okay. So I guess I'm supposed to give you the dimensions of the drawing. I guess that's it. That's kind of weird. So the dimensions of the drawing, the length here is 2.875 inches. 2.875 inches. Oh, that's a bummer. The width is 3.3125 inches. That is so weird. Okay. What is, it says the depth of the house. We don't really want to talk about the depth of the house. We want to know what is the length. Because here they have given you the width. This 600 inches is the actual width of the house itself. Okay? This is the width of the house in inches. Now, do you usually hear about the width of a house in inches? Not very often. But here it is in inches, probably to make it easier for us because the drawing is scaled to that. So, this is not depth. Does yours say depth? Does yours say length? Good morning. You look nice. Somebody go out to blow their nose or something, maybe? Okay. Hey, can you appreciate those nice puffs? Lotion? I know. Don't hoard them, though. Not too many. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want depth. We really want length. I don't know why we have depth there. Depth would be like the height of it, I think. Yeah, but we don't want that because we're talking about length and width. So if they give us the width as 600 inches, we need to find what the actual length is right here. So this is what we're trying to find. Don't you love it when we give you information and it's totally incorrect? Oh yeah, we love it. So this is what we call to scale, all right? The width, this is like a small drawing on paper. So the drawing on paper is, the width is 3.3125 inches. Okay, so I'm just putting these both here. The length on paper, not in true life, but on paper, is 2.875 0.75 inches. Those two little hash marks mean inches. All right, Aiden, you with me? So to find the length, I first need to find what the scale is, perhaps for 1 inch. All right, so I'm going to use what I have for the dimensions that I have that are talking about the same thing. In this case, we're talking about the width. So 600 inches is equivalent for the width in real life. This is the real house. So I'm going to put house here. That is equivalent on paper to 3.3125 inches. And this is on paper. Okay? So I want to figure out if I have 1 inch on paper, how many inches is that for the actual house? Okay? Do we know what that is? What that top amount is going to be? Yes? No? Do we know what it is? Just say no. No. So how might I represent that? How might I represent that? As a variable, right? So I have 600 over 3 point, that's a point, that's not a comma, 3.3125 inches equals x over to 1. This whole thing is called a proportion, where you have one fraction or one ratio set equal to another. Do you remember how to solve proportions? Okay, thank you for your honesty. So we are going to cross multiply. So you say 3.3125 times x. Eek. Times x is equal to 600 times 1, which is still 600. If we're trying to solve for x, what would you end up doing here? Dividing, right? So divide by 3.3125, and that means x is equal to what? This is where you need the calculators. You're going to need a calculator every day when we're doing this conversion stuff. Who's got the number? 600 divided by 3.3125. A little bit louder, please, for the person who can't hear anything. 181.13. Did you round that to the hundreds, or is that it? Okay, we can keep that then. And what is that label? What is that label? Units? Feet? Inches? What is that label? Pink tutus? Inches, yeah. We were trying to find the number of inches for the house of what is equal to 1 inch on paper. So 181.13 inches for the house is equivalent, that's a equal sign with a wavy thing, equivalent to 1 inch on paper. Okay? Now, is that my final answer? Is that the length of the house then? No. On paper, it says it's 2.875 inches on paper. And I know that 1 inch on paper is 181.13. So start with what we have on paper. So on paper, is that like really small? It seems small to me. On paper, we know we have 2.875 inches. We know that 1 inch on paper is equivalent to 181.13 inches in real life. So the length of my house in real life, these inches would cancel out with these inches. So you are multiplying 2.875 times 181.13. And what do you get for an answer? 2.875 times 181.13. You guys are the ones with the calculators. Come on. .75 what? Okay, we'll just say 0.75, but it is inches, right? Is that the actual length of my house? Yes? No? Yes, it is. In inches, which again, we usually don't do inches, but I mean, they gave us the width in inches, so yes. So the length, this is the actual length of the house. Okay? Questions on that? Any questions on that? No. All right, let's go to the next slide. Says, what is the scale of this drawing to the house? What is the scale of the drawing to the house? I feel like we already found that. We had to already find that, didn't we? The scale is where you find like 1 inch on paper and what that is equal to. So the scale here is 1 inch is equal to 181.13 inches. All right? So the scale is 1 inch is equal to 181 point, I forgot it already, 13 inches. So 1 inch, and this is on paper, is equal to 181.13 inches, and this is in real life. Now, sometimes you will not see it written like that. You will usually see it as 1 inch here, and they will put 2 little dots. That's called a colon. All right? 1 inch is equivalent to 181.13. Hopefully they can give you the units there because you don't know if it's feet or inches or units or what. But this is how they will usually write that scale. Okay? That's usually how they write that scale. Questions about that? All right. So, as you look at this house, what general shape does this house seem to take? A square. Although my width and my length are not quite the same, so maybe not a square, but maybe a rectangle. Okay? If my house is in the shape of a rectangle, Does anybody remember how to find the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle, length times width. Length times width. Okay? And do we have the length of this house now? Do we have the width of this house? Should you be able to find the area of this house if you have the length and the width? Survey says yes. So I want you to find the area of this house in inches, in square inches, because area is always inches squared or square inches. And then we have talked about this before. I want you to also find it in square feet. Okay? Square feet. Now, I'm going to see how much of this you can do on your own. All right? So find the area of the house in square inches first. If you need a calculator, calculators are over here. And then I want you to find it in square feet. All right? So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. You can work with someone, check in with someone, make sure you're getting the right answers. Okay? Don't just use this as, oh, let's get on our phone time. I want you to work the problem. Okay? Shouldn't take that long. And when we're done with this, we're done for the day. So give me 10 good minutes. Okay? 10 good minutes, right? Okay. What? Huh? That's all that it's in the notes, yeah. We're kind of stretching this out to get through this week. Huh? Yes, we're milking it. Yes. All right, so. All right, so what is the area of the house, the real house, in square inches? We said area of a rectangle, which is what we're taking this house to be, is length times width. So what should we multiply? What should I multiply to get the area of my house? Okay, a little bit louder and slower for the person who can't hear because of the cold. What's the length? Okay. And the width? 600. Oh, yes, they gave us that one. And when you multiply those together, what do we get? 450 inches squared. That is the area of this rectangular house. What do you guys think? Is that right? Yes. How many had that for an answer? Okay. Anybody not sure how we got that answer? So this is the actual length of the house in inches. This is the actual width of the house in inches. Multiply those together and we get inches squared. Now, the slightly more difficult part. How do I change this to square feet? Che, what do you think? Ah, yes. So this is my answer for the area. I'm going to start with that. Okay. So 312,450 inches squared. Okay. And yes, we are going to basically divide, but I am going to multiply this by a unit conversion. If I have inches on top, I need to make sure I have inches on the bottom so they cancel out, correct? And since I'm going to feet, what is the conversion for inches to feet? How many inches are how many feet? 12 inches are equivalent to 1 foot. Everybody agree with that, correct? The problem is this is in inches squared. This is only inches linear or to the first power. what do I need to do to make that inches squared? Square the whole thing. Yes. Which means this turns out to be you square the 12, which gives you that 144, and you square the inches, which gives you inches squared. Now, wait a minute. If I square that, you also have to square what's above it, right? So let's square 1. What is 1 squared? 1. And if I square the feet, feet squared. So we have really changed this into 312,450. My inches squared will cancel out times 1 all divided by 144, which means you're basically doing this divided by this. So on your calculators, 312,450 divided by 144, and what do we get for the final answer? 0.79. And how would this be labeled? Feet squared. Feet squared. And this is the actual area of my house. Not my house, but the house we're looking at. Questions on that? So what is the tricky part here? If there is a tricky part. The division, somewhat, yes. What you have to remember is if you're going from inches squared to feet squared, you have to actually square the 12 that's here because 1 foot is 12 inches, but you've got to square that 12 since you're talking about square inches. Does that make sense? That's the tricky part. Any questions about this problem? All right. I am pretty sure that is it. So you should be working on, if you are not finished with it yet, homework 3.1, homework 3.2, the main project. If you want to redo that project, make sure you get a half sheet from me. I passed a half sheet to lots of people saying this is what you need to do if you need to up that grade, okay? So make sure you do that because I'm not going to be grading it easily the second time around. It's got to be correct and accurate, all right? But some people have done it and it does pay off, okay? All right. That is all that I have for today. So I'm going to keep working on grading these over on the side, and you have a few extra minutes, okay?